need it too. Joining us to talk about this in our Google Hangout, we have Leslie Heister, parenting columnist and mother of a baby girl. Keri Wilmot, a toy blogger and mother to an almost 3-year-old boy. Zephyr Sparkle, chair of BronyCon 2013, which is a convention for primary male fans of My Little Pony. And Reyne Rice, a toy trends expert. And with me in studio is my co-host, Jacob Soboroff.
This is so exciting, by the way. I have not seen the comments this aggressive since the opening day. So, bronies of the world unite. We're about to do this.
We're about to do this. And I want to start with Leslie, because you are a mom. You wrote a column that says, I hate pink. Is it because you have a little girl? Do you wish there were more gender neutrality in the world of kids' toys?
Yes, I mean, I think there are gender-neutral toys out there, but I've just found, especially with when it comes to clothing, my daughter's only 11 months old, so we haven't gotten full force into the toys yet. But everything's pink. It's almost impossible to find pajamas and bathing suits and things that aren't pink.
Reyne, I know you have words on this, Miss Toy Expert.
Yeah, I think that kids should go after their passion, and parents should let them. If they want to wear pink, fine. If they want to wear purple and rainbow, fine. Also, same thing with if they want to go after science toys, cooking toys, dolls for boys, whatever. You know, it should be childhood is an opportunity to test out what you want to be when you grow up. So why not let them try out all the possibilities?
Mm-hmm. And I want to go to the article that started this all last week in the Parents vertical. Harrods unveils gender-neutral toy department, Toy Kingdom, which basically anyone can go and not feel like they have to be ashamed of something that they like.
That's a great idea.
Because it's pink. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And Zephyr, do you think this is progress? I mean, in what you do and what you love, do you feel like you've been stigmatized unfairly?
I think it's progress, but I also think it's progress that shouldn't necessarily have had to been made. I think that as people, we're all fully capable of understanding that other people might not like the same thing that we like, and not have to stab them in the head with it in order to get things done. So I think that it's a nice gesture, but my thought on it is that it's a gesture that really shouldn't have to have been made, if that makes sense.
Keri, I want you to jump in here because I know you have a little boy, and you're going through some things, especially when it comes to his kitchenette.
We had a toy kitchen set that we were reviewing about 1.5 years ago, and I, went off to the department store and thought I'm going to get him some pots and pans to go with his toy kitchen, and I was shocked to find out that every pretend play item that Target had that day was pink. And I thought, I don't mind that he plays with dolls. We have plenty of, baby girl dolls. I just thought that there are a lot of, the house toys, things like that should be more realistic and not always so pink. I came out of the store with nothing. I didn't know what to tell him.
I have a
Go
quick...
online and look for Melissa and Doug products. Sushi sets, stuff that's gender neutral. They've got some great cooking stuff.
And it's okay for boys to play with pink too.
It is, yeah, but I think I was just surprised that I couldn't even the play food and everything in the store. I mean, everything was just so, so biased in that respect that I couldn't find anything to buy. I was happy to spend my money in the moment,
I think it's also a very clever thing that the stores do when you think about it, where if you go in the toy aisles, they have the aisles that are clearly targeted towards boys and the aisles that are clearly targeted towards girls. And I think that what should happen is we should have an aisle for toys, much like we have an aisle for groceries and an aisle for bathroom things and an aisle for, we don't group the blue bathroom things in one aisle and the pink ones in another one, and have, only guys can go down this aisle and only girls can go down this aisle.
That's a great point. Guys, I have a quick comment from I mean, what must be scores and scores, hundreds, thousands, I have no idea. The comments are coming in so fast right now. From you guys, Geomancer21 says, funny, pink used to be for boys 100 years ago because it was a shade of red associated with blood. Blue was for girls because it was considered dainty. So somehow they got switched. And
it actually happened with manufacturing. And Zephyr, don't you just find that, and I know, Reyne, you're a toy expert. Isn't this quite ridiculous that we're going through this when this is a very recent trend to have gendered toys?
No, actually, gender-specific toys have been around for ages. It's the more gender-neutral toys that people are feeling more comfortable with introducing to their kids, boys and girls. just because a product is a doll doesn't mean it's only for girls. Like action figures are dolls for boys, but they're called action figures because boys didn't want to play with dolls, or their dads didn't necessarily want them playing with dolls. But if they played with action figures, that was okay.
And what's the difference? Do you think kids can tell the difference? I know at my son's daycare, the pink chairs are the most popular. And it has nothing to do with anything until someone tells you that it's bad.
I think that's absolutely true, that we teach our kids we teach them gender roles and we teach them what to expect. And if you don't ever teach them that pink is for girls and blue is for boys, then I don't think they would naturally come to that decision on their own.
Right. I think it's very much a decision, and a rather unfortunate decision, that society has made to attach specific colors to specific genders. So I would almost say like rabidly.
And it's more than just colors. I mean, it's also the kitchen sets, like the idea that a kitchen set would be for a boy. I mean, they're specifically marketed towards girls, and that's why they're pink. I mean, what was it? There was a catalog. What was it a few months ago? Was it J. Crew or something, where they were painting the little boy's nails and people freaked out about it?
Oh God, something different and new. No,
right. I mean, it's just the idea that a little boy would want his nails painted, and that could just be that, like you were saying, Renee, about the imagination and exploration that children have, and it doesn't have to be about anything more complicated than that.
Can I just ask a quick question to all of you guys? I mean, I genuinely am shocked at how passionate the commenters are right now. Why is there such a big community around this? And everybody, I mean, people are not making fun of this. People are here and they're dead serious about this.
Because it's time to take a stand for just
But I mean, but Nancy, these are, I mean, the level of comments coming in right now is so much more than we've seen recently. Why are people so passionate about this?
Well, I think that dads are becoming more involved in the parenting role, that it's not just moms involved in parenting. Dads are embracing being a parent. They love nurturing their kids and being with them, whether it's sports or playing, a tea set with your, little boy or little girl, or cooking, whatever it is. It's embracing life, because role play and what children see and do as children is what it's building their relationships around them, to the people around them, the places around them, the things they do. So as parents, being able to be open enough to allow your children to do different things is really helping their development as a person.
And Leslie, I know that you struggle because you had a lot of girly girl quintessentially female things growing up, and you weren't really allowed to have other types of things. How did that affect you growing up?
Well, I mean, my mom said that she did offer me more kind of like, trucks and cars and things, that I kind of gravitated towards Barbie. But that's also, it's also what you see in society and what my friends were playing with and that sort of thing. And so I really gravitated towards that. And I mean, I think it did affect me. I think I did, put a lot of importance on kind of appearance and dressing up and that sort of thing as a child. And not that you can't have fun with that. I mean, I did theater for a long time, so there was also a theatrical aspect to it. But, and I wouldn't deter my children from exploring that. I just wouldn't want them to put too much focus on it. And I think that if you are, like we've been talking about, if you're open to different kinds of, playing with trucks and doing all kinds of things, you get to explore different parts of yourself.
And lest we think that not allowing someone to remain in gender-specific roles is going to keep them from success, presidents are very, very well known for being not in the conventional way, very straightforward. I mean, back in the day, in 1884, FDR was photographed in a dress until 2½, because it was social convention for children to wear dresses, no matter what the gender. And then we do have the fantastic Bill Clinton is a brony. He knows his My Little Pony trivia. So obviously Bill Clinton is a fan. We have it on the comedy vertical. So we're not alone. If Bill Clinton's a brony, why shouldn't everyone, Zephyr, be?
I think it's a lot of the I don't want to watch a show with pink prancing ponies in it is actually a very large factor in the you'd be surprised how many people are like, even for example, when I landscape is my day job, and when I'm on crew, I've actually somewhat started to convince these, very stereotypical landscape type people that it is not weird that I wear the Hot Topic pony belt to work every day. Like,
that's funny.
And they've gone from straight like, oh, don't even talk to me about that, to okay, so tell me why this is so good. I'm actually curious and I want to hear this now.
Much like
so
body wash.
I think that it's less a question of people don't want to and more that people just won't. And if it's in their face for long enough, then their curiosity just overcomes it and they check it out, I find. But I think it's a pretty sorry situation that it comes to, well, okay, you have to get used to it and then you have to decide to do it and then you have to go do it. Like, why can't it just be why can't it be here? Why can't it be its own little thing?
Just a quick comment, or two quick comments from the stream. John Garrity says the bronies are cartoon fans, the dolls are secondary, but they're cool. And a couple people have made this point in the comments that people like the message of the show. I'm sort of, I don't know if Zephyr's looking at his dolls. I think the dolls are probably important to you. And then another comment here from Theo. Gender roles are taught to our kids from a very young age, and society enforces them constantly from then on, and through the media and entertainment in no small part. Kids tend to start out very genderless in a sense, and it's only as they get older do the roles sink in. Is that the message of the show? Is that what makes this so powerful, or what is the message of the show people are talking about?
And yeah,
friendship.
I mean, the message of the show is very much one of overarching acceptance and actually, understanding other people's points of view rather than dismissing them out offhand. And
Keri,
I mean, I think a large part of why it's been perpetuated so much is that advertising companies, with the advent of television commercials, were very quick to realize that if you teach kids to like a certain color and then slap that color up on a screen, they will instantly buy whatever is on the screen with that one color on it and condition them to like.
Keri, we talk about this with girls. With your little boy, are you seeing it already happen with your little boy?
You know, what's amazing is that two of his favorite television shows are Angelina Ballerina and Doc McStuffins, which is one of the new shows on Disney Junior, who I absolutely adore. So,
and My Little Pony.
Well, actually, he's never seen My Little Pony, but it is amazing. He, and he dresses up like, he wears my shoes, he carts around my pocketbook. I mean, he helps me do laundry. I mean, I've let him be a part of whatever it is that interests him and wants, whatever he wants to be a part of. But it's amazing to me how he requests, he wants to watch Angelina Ballerina, and I don't know what it is about this Doc McStuffins, but it is probably one of the cutest shows I've ever seen. It has a great message, and he is absolutely in love with her in her glittery purple stethoscope. So.
And just so people know, Doc McStuffins is about an African-American child whose mother is a doctor, and she plays doctor on her stuffed animals, and they come to life. And it's just adorable. And I want to go to you, Reyne. Are you seeing more requests for not only gender-neutral toys, but also traditionally gendered toys for all genders?
2 years ago, Mattel went out, and so did Hasbro, with their, unapologetically pink campaigns out there saying, listen, if little girls love pink, let them have pink, but let's let them just be unapologetic about it. Go for, bold pink, glitter, whatever they want, diamonds. But if they also want to be rough and tough and tumble, that's fine too. Let kids be who they want to be, and don't squelch it, whether it's gender neutral or gender specific. Let them live and flourish in that for that moment, and once they live it, they can decide if they want to continue to live it or if they want to try on something different. It's when you give them stereotypes and say you shouldn't be doing that, it starts to build negative self-esteem for a kid. And it's not a positive role model. So let them be who they want to be. It's all about role play.
It's amazing to me too. I feel like, we were just, I don't want to throw my own parents under the bus, but I feel like when we hang out with older generations, and Gavin says, I want to watch Angelina Ballerina, you hear the grunts, you hear the groans, you hear, why is he pushing that pink baby carriage around? I feel like from my perspective and my generation, we're much more accepting of allowing our kids those opportunities, but it's hard when you have people that you respect and people that you've grown up with, kind of muttering in the background, like, what's he doing with that,
I agree. It definitely does happen. And, you just have to be the new parent that says, I'm letting my kid try on all kinds of things. I remembered my favorite toy as a kid was my baseball mitt and my tree in the backyard.
Right.
Loved those. But when I grew up, I worked on the Barbie business for 5 years. I
think it's interesting that you were talking about Hasbro's, earlier we were talking about the Hasbro's Unforgivably Pink. And I think it's interesting about Hasbro, and for some reason it's not something they're really heavily publicized, but not only does Hasbro own My Little Pony, but they also own Wizards of the Coast, which does Dungeons & Dragons and the Magic the Gathering trading card game, which, I mean, when most people think Hasbro, they're like, oh, well, Hasbro does, you know, My Little Pony and G.I. Joe.
And Transformers.
And Transformers. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's like Hasbro is one of the closest companies that is at the point where they can start to just kind of bridge this gender neutral gap we seem to be talking about. And it's kind of weird that they're not really, I only found out Wizards was owned by Hasbro a week ago. Like, it was just not something that was intuitive to me for some reason.
Reyne, maybe you can suggest to them that this is a great opportunity, because I have a great comment from GClaw4444. I think it's hard to let kids like something if it doesn't follow their gender roles, because the peer pressure in school and such will make them feel bad about it. And that's something we have to deal with in light of so much taunting and bullying. How can we change the culture?
By encouraging your kids to do what they want. My son, for example, never played with action figures when he was a kid. He was a Lego boy through and through. And he got taunted by his schoolmates saying, oh, you don't play with action figures. You're not a real man. And he said,
yeah, but I can build a house out of Legos, put you in it, and lock it.
That's what he said. He said, I can build and destroy stuff just as much as anybody else. You're playing with dolls. You tell me, you know. And, you know, he just built his own self-confidence based on what he liked. So encouraging kids to try on different roles hopefully also makes them more tolerant towards other people and other roles that other people do. Discussing it, having kids see the different things and say, what do you think? Mm-hmm. And ask their opinion.
And I think that parents can play a huge role in all of this. And I'm a big I have a master's in education and studied critical literacy a lot, where you teach kids to, you know, read everything that they read and everything that they encounter, they question it, like you were saying, like, why is this the way that it is? I do agree with that. However, I do think that there is that the whole marketing of toys has become more, you know, it just everything for girls is sort of really pink and girly, and you've got all these dolls that are just, I think they do send messages to girls that are negative. I mean, the gender-based toys that are geared towards girls tend to teach things about, you know, they teach them to focus on their appearance and things like that. And I think that while you can do a lot as a parent, it's also hard when everyone around you and all the kids around you and, you know, are really focused on that. And it bothers me that that's the trend. I think that the marketing, that these companies do this because it's popular. I mean, it's kind of a chicken or the egg sort of scenario, but
just a real quick,
I just find it disturbing.
Wait, I want to, Keri, were you about to say something, Keri?
Yeah, well, you know, I think back to even when I was pregnant, I didn't find out what I was having for a baby until I gave birth. And it was the hardest thing ever, I felt like, to put together a registry, because everything on it was either pink or blue. You know, it was such a struggle. It bothered more friends and than I can imagine that I didn't know what I was having. They wanted to go out and buy the dress or buy the cute boy clothes. And you know, so I think it doesn't even just start with toys now. I think it starts way even before kids are even born in terms of what's
I knew I was having a girl, but trying just to decorate my nursery and trying to avoid, I wanted it to be kind of feminine, but not pink, and just trying to find things that it wasn't a pink explosion. It was
or if you're going to have you know, that my biggest thing is that I like to invest in toys, and I like to promote toys that are a long-term, you know, good for long-term
play value.
Exactly.
Sure.
So if I'm going to go buy pots and pans and I have, you know, a little girl now, what's to say I might not have two little boys later on? For me, and that's where I kind of go back to that whole realistic perspective. I want to buy that thing one time. I want it to last through all the kids that I have, and I don't want it to be pigeonholed into being something.
But then that's a great marketing strategy, because you have the boy, and so you have to buy everything in blue and red and green, and you have the girl, and you have to go back and rebuy everything in purple and pink.
There are a lot
Joke's
of
on you. I'll just
companies
let my kids use my old pots and pans from when I was in college.
And you know, there are a lot of companies that really specifically are looking to gender neutral roles. For example, even the Heart to Heart dolls are all about teaching kids about different cultures, different societies.
I love the Heart to Heart dolls.
absolutely.
They're amazing. And I just have enjoyed this Heart to Heart so very much. I want to end on this great comment by Garrett Trotter. Keep on commenting, guys, by the way. But this one's great. Gender neutrality isn't the problem, but the acceptability of all genders to use things without stigma, regardless of societal norms. I have enjoyed this conversation so much. It's brought up a lot of great things. I think we should take some action. I want to hear more about what you all have to say because the conversation definitely continues on HuffPost Live. And remember, friendship is magic.